activists say that several explosions have been heard in neighbourhoods across the eastern town of Deir al-Zor. Anti-government protests continued overnight in Homs. Demonstrators are calling for a no-fly zone over the country today to protect those who are still taking to the streets. Activists say that 25 people were killed across the country in violence on Thursday. Meanwhile, new reports suggest that Turkey is harbouring Syrian anti-government fighters. The Turkish military is said to be providing shelter to an armed opposition group waging an insurgency against President Bashar al-Assad. The group calls itself the Free Syrian Army and has already claimed responsibility for killing 9 Syrian soldiers. Turkish officials describe the relationship as purely humanitarian, claiming that the primary concern is the safety of defectors. Relations between the two countries have collapsed since unrest broke out in Syria in March. Since then, the United Nations says that more than 3,000 people have been killed. Joining us now, Louay Safi, who's a part of the Syrian opposition. What do you make of these reports that Turkey's harbouring this Syrian anti-government group, these fighters? Is your group working with the Free Syria Army?
Well, there are some contacts. I can't say we are working with them. There are some contacts. The council is still committed to peaceful protests, but against use of violence against the regime at this point. Although there are a lot of demands from inside that this should be changed, but the council is still sticking to peaceful resistance.
Okay, so as far as you're concerned, the actions of the Free Syria Army, they're reported to be responsible for the deaths of at least 9 Syrian soldiers, launching attacks, hit-and-run attacks from the Turkish side of the border. That could actually be detrimental to your goal in Syria.
Well, I mean, the reports have not been confirmed. What we know about Turkey is that it is not supporting the use of force against Syrian government, but they insist that it is just they are providing shelter. Now, we are against turning this protest into a violent one, definitely. Although we are aware of the fact that the regime is driving the whole country into that point.
So you're making a lot of noise outside of the country then. You're committed to this peaceful transition of power, but what efforts are you making to negotiate with the Syrian government, if any?
Well, at this point, really, there is no negotiation at all. Because our position is that the government is not serious about negotiation. It has not showed any goodwill. It has made a lot of promises, but nothing on the ground. So it's all, up in the air at this point.
Louay Safi, who's a member of the opposition Syrian National Council. We were talking there about developments in Syria, the fact that your group is negotiating with the Syrian government at the moment. Let's talk about the significance of calling for the introduction today of a no-fly zone across Syria to protect civilians on the ground who are protesting.
This would be a possibility if the regime will continue on the same path. Definitely we don't want to go that way. We think that would be destructive for everybody. And we hold the President, Bashar al-Assad, responsible for, if things will deteriorate further. Because while he was talking about reform and making a lot of promises, a lot of decrees and laws, nothing has been put in place. And so there is no trust at all in what the government is saying at this point.
So how do you see events playing out in Syria over the next few weeks and months? Who is it that is keeping President Bashar al-Assad in place?
Well, mainly the military. Over the last 40 years, the regime has put special forces that are very loyal to the regime, and these are controlling the whole military, as well as the security apparatus, mainly the mukhabarat, that are really creating terror and fear in the heart of the people. But the people have broken that wall. They are not fearful anymore, and they are determined to gain control over their lives.
Okay. Louay Safi, many thanks indeed for being with us. I'm sorry about the interruption. That's the nature of breaking news. Good to talk to you.
All right.